If I were to describe TenTen's figure drawings in 2 words, it would be modern Bridgman. Dynamic yet incredibly grounded. Okay, cool story bro, but how? How can we go from this to this? To answer this, I spent days banging my head against the wall, analyzing, trying to figure out the secret sauce behind these crazy dynamic figures. And in the end, I came up with a 3-step system that anyone can follow to level up your own anatomy skills. This video is sponsored by Skillshare, but more on that later. Here's a quick overview of this video. As a beginner, what we need to do here is essentially downloading information into our brains, rapid fire style. To understand how the human body works, the first step is to get a general feel for the entire human body. So this means a brickload of gesture studies. You're not really doing anything too intense, you're more so trying to get used to the form and silhouette and how the body moves in general. TenTen does this with the 2-box method, which each represents the torso and the pelvis. If you're sick of boxes, cylinders, spheres, or this weird beanbag thing will also work. They all do the same thing. The point is to be able to go through a lot of poses in a short amount of time, so you don't really want too much detail on what you're drawing. So let's look at some practical examples. A really quick hack for recognizing the angle of tilt in the torso and the pelvis is setting a reference point for yourself. For me, I look at the tilt of the ribcage, which we know is connected to the collarbone here, down to about here. So the box for the torso should look roughly like this. It's helpful to know some basic anatomy before you get started here. You only really need to know 2 major landmarks when it comes to the pelvis: the iliac crest and the greater trochanter. Even though I feel really smart right now for saying these scientific names, the only thing you are looking for are these 2 angle changes marked here. Excuse me, ma'am. For any normal standing pose, the pelvis is relatively straightforward. You just grab your points of reference and try your best to replicate the rotation you see. But the pelvis can be a little bit tricky sometimes, especially when you're drawing from clothed figures. Also, most sitting poses where you can't even see the pelvis. There's a trick to this which I'll talk about in the second part of this video, but as you can already tell, basic perspective skills are pretty important for you to do well here. I happen to have a video on that, so make sure to check it out. Also, do note that not all references are built the same. References with standing static poses with no perspective is generally easier than the ones with a lot of foreshortening like this. Clothed figures are harder because they can be deceiving as to where the landmarks of the body actually are, so choose your references wisely. Though maybe to some of you this might sound basic as hell, like, hey, you're just making us draw boxes again. But if you can do this, then you can do this, and then this, and this. I personally see it as a progression kind of thing. You eventually map out the full 3D form in your head, but it starts from here, and this is really important. Remember, it's the base of everything, which brings us to the next tier of the pyramid. Now, if you have spent enough time in the first tier, you quickly notice that this second tier becomes easier to follow. All we need is a little more refinement. Everything is a progression. This is cool, but it doesn't really explain how we can get here, so we face this common problem. A really genius thing that TenTen does for these in-between transitions is placing basic forms within an organic form. What do I mean by this? Look at this neat head drawing by TenTen, for example. Doing exercises like these can help you understand the form much more deeply, instead of trying to copy your references one-to-one. You get to actually deconstruct the form and build it back up again using simple shapes like these. And once you guys are familiar with the basic construction of each body part, reconstructing the whole body suddenly becomes much easier. I will talk about this more in detail in a second, but I highly recommend you guys to explore these shapes on your own first if you really want to get good at anatomy. And what better way to do that than Skillshare? These 2 classes on Skillshare is really the next thing you need to enhance your figures once you practice enough of the fundamentals. This class by Patrick Brown explores how to create movement and lively facial expressions in your characters, making these epic compositions come to life. While this class by Brian Shepard teaches us how to design characters using shape language, which is also the topic we'll be tackling next with TenTen's art. Aside from these 2 classes, Skillshare is one of the largest online learning community and houses tons of really useful classes on topics like productivity, business, graphic design, and illustration. Literally everything you ever need to level up as an artist. Plus, being productive with learning new skills is a good use of time during summer breaks. What else are you gonna do, huh? go outside. That's why Skillshare offers a 30-day free trial for the first 500 people to use my link in the description below. If you're hardcore like me, you can easily grind through tons of these classes, so I highly recommend it. Thank you Skillshare for sponsoring the video. Depending on the figure or his mood, I guess, he'll sometimes use cylinders and cubes interchangeably. Other smaller forms that he likes to use include this diamond-shaped thing for the deltoids, breasts, and traps. There's also a written tutorial on TenTen's Twitter, and it says that understanding the topology of the shape you're drawing, which basically means the wireframe, is really important to be able to replicate that same shape and drawing it in different angles. The next step is really just you playing Lego, piecing all the parts together. Remember those difficult sitting poses that I mentioned previously? Even though you can't see where the pelvis is positioned in these angles, you can still kind of guess it using other information. Once you're comfortable with the overall structure and how each part connects to each other, figuring out the positioning of each part, like the pelvis here, will be a lot more intuitive. Knowing your proportions well enough will also help with this. Of course, if you skip levels, which is totally fine to do, you might not be as comfortable with drawing the whole body on one go yet. So when it comes to allocating practice time, just remember to always follow the pyramid. Now, if you have already been practicing the previous 2 levels, this tier shouldn't be too difficult. It's more about decision making and experimenting at this point. Proportions are incredibly important for anatomy. While you may have already been subconsciously learning about it in the first 2 tiers, those are pretty basic and, dare I say, boring. There are a few things TenTen does to really bring out the style and flair in his figures. Angular shapes are almost always a staple in TenTen's figures. This blocky style is mostly derived from the influence of Bridgman in his work. TenTen pays a lot of attention to these few areas of the body. Because of this, his figures always look like they have that gym rat build. I mean, he's a man of good taste, what can I say? You can see him intentionally breaking his lines at various points here, instead of continuing with one smooth line like these other artists, which gives their characters a more feminine look. Proportion-wise, TenTen places a lot more emphasis on the hips, calves, and shoulders, making them proportionally larger than the surrounding body parts. These are all personal preferences. Again, if you want to learn more about building your own shape language into your characters, make sure to check out that class by Brian Shepard on Skillshare. The most common shape used in TenTen's work is probably triangles, as you can see from these examples. But he also did this chart that showcases some interesting ways he used to play with the shapes of different body parts. Speaking of 2D shapes, when it comes to actual posing, a good way to enhance your compositions is to make use of negative shapes. Having lots of these in one area creates a lot of visual interest and also makes the figure feel more powerful and dynamic, generally speaking. Whereas having none of it makes the figure feel more shy, reserved, and streamlined. Using 2D shapes for conveying emotions in poses are something more advanced, which is why it's in the last tier in this pyramid. But here are a few examples on what you can do with them. A strong base underneath gives the figure a stable, powerful look. Unstable shapes like these gives the figure a dynamic and speedy feel. A tall figure with an inverted triangle here gives off a dangerous, seductive vibe. These are incredibly powerful stuff and would definitely enhance your figures by a lot. I know anatomy is a huge topic and I'm still learning myself, so if you want to see more content surrounding this topic, let me know in the comments. Check out this video next where I talk about lighting. Subscribe. Bye!